Jeez. I still can't get over how fucking stupid that is. The time of death is wrong because it's
Miss
cold.
Long's meeting with the victim at 2 minutes before 5:30 a.m.
Okay, so 5:28.
Mr. Kadosh claims to have passed by the Spitalfields Church at 5:32, which, given the distance from 27 Hanbury Street, would mean he was still at home at 5:31. Let's therefore put the end of his testimony at 5:31. Miss Long heard the man say to the victim, "Will you?" To which the victim responded, "Yes," which would suggest that an agreement was reached and that the transaction was imminent. They then proceeded to enter the garden, which puts the voices heard by Kadosh at 5:29.
Okay, so 5:29.
We had thought that Kadosh had left 27 Hanbury Street at 5:31 after having heard an impact against the fence. Thus, 2 minutes passed between the moment when Kadosh entered the house after having been in the garden the first time and the moment when he returns to go out again and leave for work. How long did he estimate this interval to be? 3 to 4 minutes. In light of all this, Watson, we can finally establish the time of Chapman's murder. Now, place the knife at the exact time.
Okay, so she would be dead at about 5:29. What?
Now then, taking into account that the local clock isn't exact and that a young man was off by a minute or two in his estimations of his comings and goings, we can confirm Miss Long's testimony and place the time of the crime at approximately 5:30.
Why is
But in
Sherlock
that case,
the only
Holmes,
person?
the man that Miss Long saw is none other than...
That's right, Watson. It was the Whitechapel killer.
To think that Miss Long and Kadosh were only a few feet away from him.
Indeed, Watson. Had Miss Long passed just a little closer to the victim and her assassin, or had the young Kadosh popped his head over the fence out of curiosity, the killer would most certainly already be behind bars.
That's some stroke of luck he had there.
I couldn't agree more, Watson. But his luck didn't end there, given the mutilations inflicted upon this poor woman. What must be considered above all is the killer's obvious wish to remove one and only one specific organ. His surgery pinpointed the exact spot, avoiding superfluous incisions. This suggests the man possesses at least a minimal anatomical knowledge.
Are you suggesting a doctor or a butcher?
Perhaps, but the possibilities are still too broad to conclude with any certainty.
Yes, indeed,
Now
yes.
for the motive. Despite my almost complete lack of practical experience on the subject, I have a rather precise idea of the usefulness of a uterus and a vagina. Nonetheless, once they are separated from their usual envelope, I am more circumspect as to the uses one can make of them. What do you think, Watson? We need a board, Watson.
So, Watson is a doctor who was in the military and saw a lot of people fucking die. And yet he doesn't think that maybe the weather and the lack of blood and organs and shit would make a body cool faster. Oh my god. Why does Sherlock Holmes, like, because he's not a doctor, he hasn't been to medical school, like, he hasn't, like, people in the Victorian era were fucking stupid when it came to shit like this. For the sole purpose of study.
Perhaps it was intended as a study specimen.
I have little faith in that theory. Hardly anything was taken from the Bucks Row
Maybe it was
victim.
practice.
Black magic?
Watson, this line of investigation is far too vague. We don't have a single clue in support of such a motive. We can eliminate this hypothesis.
Yep, black magic is never, ever a proper motive.
A desire for some sort of morbid trophy.
I love to
I'd
mount
be inclined to
vaginas on my
dismiss this
walls.
motive. If this were the case, why would nothing have been removed from the Bucks Row victim?
Holmes, what if it was cannibalism?
Even if the idea is unbearable, we can't ignore it as a possibility.
Vagina on toast, with some uterus on the side.
Money, quite simply.
Even if this motive seems incongruous, we're in no position to deny or affirm it until we know whether a market for human organs exists.
So really the only motive that's worth a shit is cannibalism.
What are we doing, Holmes?
We need a board, Watson. Elementary. What emerges from these possible motives for having removed the uterus from the second victim is that they implied that the killer could have carried out the same thing on the Bucks Row victim, yet didn't. This brings us to a terrible conclusion. Our killer has evolved in the space of only a few days, and if that's the case, had he already struck before the first murder to which we attribute him? And if the killer strikes again, what atrocity awaits his next victim?
He will
We have to stop him, Holmes.
everything.
We shall do our best. This recent business of jars filled with formalin and of the American doctor might be a lead. Watson, inquire among medical circles to ascertain if there is a black market for human organs. The chances are slim, but this must be pursued.
Very well. What about you, Holmes?
I will send word to Inspector Aberline regarding our recent conclusions. I should also like to become a gas man and pay a visit to Bluto at the Wasp's Nest.
Understood, Holmes. I think one of my old university colleagues who works at the London hospital will be able to help me. I shall write him a note at once. He should be able to see me during the day. Afterwards, shall we meet here?
Yes, we
Yes,
shall.
Watson. See you later, and good luck.
So please tell me I'm playing Sherlock.
I must get to the London hospital, where my old university colleague works.
I don't want to play as Watson. God damn
I
it.
must get to the London hospital, where my old university colleague works.
Okay, so...
To the London hospital, quick! My colleague agreed to meet me here in one of the London hospital rooms reserved for students.
Ah, John.
And
you're
they're
there
wearing the
already.
exact same thing.
Punctual as always. Tell me, you don't seem to be in good shape. Is it possible that your recent marriage is making you this morose?
Ah, you know me well, Andrew. No, it's a strange and terrible affair that concerns me. Have you read my note?
Yes, I admit that I
what's
was
going
surprised. It just so happens that I, too, was asking questions about our morgue.
Oh god, these guys are so fucking dull. Jesus.
What do you think? Have you heard of any organ trafficking within...
No, John. No doubt there exists some exchange between colleagues. Not quite legal, of course, but nothing that can qualify as trafficking. Since the Anatomy Act of 1832, which permitted the use of unclaimed corpses for science, the black market trade was definitely halted. There are sufficient subjects available for all practitioners and students. Of this I can confirm.
Well, organ trafficking as a lucrative trade is out of the question. Then what is troubling you with the morgue?
You are talking about trafficking organs, but I suspect there is trade in whole bodies.
What do you mean to say? Whole bodies are disappearing?
Well, it's confidential, but I know of your discretion and your friendship with the famous Sherlock Holmes. I can tell you that a few corpses have recently disappeared from the hospital morgue. Cadavers that were intended for dissection. That is to say, not claimed.
See?
Poor, unknown people.
Jack the
If a
Ripper.
single corpse had disappeared,
The
it might
doctor.
have been a bad joke. There are many students who pass through here. It's even a meeting spot. For the majority, they are here to work. A few come here in secret to practice. It also happens that instruments or organs go missing. Nothing alarming, but so many corpses. It's very troubling.
What will you
But the
do, good
hospital
sir?
doctors aren't doing anything?
No. That is to say, they would prefer not to call the police at this point. An investigation would no doubt result in the suspension of...
Which corpses are missing?
I don't know
bet
exactly,
they're all
but I can
females.
make an exact list if you would like to wait here for a few minutes. Feel free to look around.
Thank you, Andrew.
It's gonna be like, oh, it's all female bodies. And it's gonna be like very specific, exact shit.
These wheeled trolleys are very handy for laying out surgical instruments.
Oh god, it's so unclean in here.
This rag is full of grease. It certainly wasn't used for a dissection. Was someone doing some mechanical work here? It's here that students come to carry out their experiments. This wheel won't roll despite all of the added grease. Curious, as Holmes would say.
I bet that's a plot point. There's a plot point somehow.
This surgical instrument resembles a screwdriver. How amusing. It might come in handy. I will return it later.
Hang on, mate. Hang on, mate. Your knee's loose. Hang on. There we go. That should do it. That should do it.
It's here that students come to carry out their experiments.
Now, smoke 3 blunts and call me in the morning. Unless you die. You might die. Have some cocaine as well.
The last lesson must have been about the human heart. And for a class of beginners, I expect, as this diagram is rather rudimentary.
You know what? You can Google it. Okay, I'm missing.
It's here that students come to carry out their experiments. An encyclopedia of anatomy. A page on the human heart is dog-eared. Let's see.
Numerous imaginary structure, interior, Why the fuck is it all in Latin? Alas, poor Yorick. Horatio, I knew him well. Something, jokes and jives and shit like that. I bet the next victim's gonna be missing her heart. Yeah, come on, spacebar. Spacebar. Like, they're gonna pull up to the next murder and be like, yo, this victim's missing a heart, man. I mean, shit.
I have no reason to go here.
In here, then.
I am missing some information.
I am? What am I missing? What did I miss?
This wheel won't roll despite all of the added grease.
Should
Curious, as Holmes would say.
Should I try using the screwdriver?
A message. I'll be... Why the devil was it hidden here?
Oh my god. Ethan Levy, 7 years, son of Sarah and Jacob Levy, hospitalized May 18th, syphilis, treated with mercury and penicillin, grave condition, advanced stages, possibly an imminent subject, watch carefully. Vena cava superior, valva aortae, atrium sinistrium, The magnet is in the heart, use this board and erase it afterwards. Okay, so the magnet would be in the vena cava or the valva aortae. So it could be in there, or it could be in there.
An old prescription. Poor child, so young, yet terminally ill. Strange, someone scrawled something. Part of it is in Latin. These are instructions, it would seem. The last lesson must have been about...
Okay. Items.
I am missing some information.
So, I might have to get a magnet or something out of someone's heart?
I have no reason to go here. The last lesson must have been about the...
Oh. There's a heart.
There is a heart in this jar. Based on its colouring, it hasn't been there long. And it looks like the drawing
Hey,
on
look,
the
there's
board.
fetuses.
This jar contains 2 lids with combination locks.
Okay. So... Hang on. Documents. I need the Vena Cava and the Valve Aorte, which is that one. Okay, so... that and that. One, so that's 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's 1 and 6.
I am missing.
Weird how it would... Wait. Okay. So 1... Wait, no. Valve Aorte is 5. So that goes to 5. And that goes to 1. Is that it?
Look, there was a bit of paper stuck between the 2 lids.
Wait, but the Vena Cava is 1. Oh, I fucked up. Message from the heart is 6. Okay, so 6 is the ventriculus sinister. Huh. Well, this is strange. What is this to do with 6? I wish there was some way to make Watson repeat what he just said.
Incredible! Someone has hidden a magnet in this heart.
I don't even know how that worked.
But to
I
what
just
end?
brute forced that shit. Okay, so now I have a magnet. Okay. Why do I need a magnet? Why do I need a magnet?
Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here.
God. Oh, that's
incredible. There is a magnet with a hook behind this pane of glass. I am in need of something.
Okay, so... Oh! It's a magnet puzzle! Magnets! How did they work? Ah, okay. I'll finish this next time. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, or subscribe. That really helps. And I'll see you next time. See you.